So this is a Hoover Sovereign. This is a rather unusual vacuum to find in the United States. It was sold for a very short period of time in the mid-1980s. From what I've researched, it was sold at Macy's. I don't know if it was sold anywhere else. It was not a cheap vacuum cleaner new. It was about $300, which in 1984 money is over $600 today. So, like I said, it's not a cheap vacuum. The build quality is middling. It is made of a fairly cheap plastic. It doesn't have a hose or attachments. I'm not even sure if attachments were available for this model. What is unique about this vacuum is the fact that it was made in the United Kingdom, and these are actually much more common over in Europe. There I know they're known as turbo powers, and maybe a couple other names as well, but over in the United States they call them the Sovereign. And like I said, they're very rare here because they were not sold for long. They're more common in Europe, but it's an interesting machine. It cleans carpet very well. Sounds a little bit different than our typical Hoover Elite, which is what would have been like the American version of this vacuum. Actually, probably the Hoover Innovation was probably more like the American version of this model, now that I think about it. But it's a very interesting machine. Another dead giveaway that this vacuum is European is how short the handle is. As you can see, very short handle, and it has an air freshener right here that actually still has a little bit of a scent to it. Has a height adjustment down right here. You can see the handle release is a little bit worn out. It doesn't sit upright totally. The cord reel, the button for the cord reel is right here, but you can see that it doesn't work. In fact, the whole cord reel mechanism, at some point somebody actually pulled it out, and I think they actually, when they did that, they put on a different cord. So that's a little bit of a shame, because that would have been interesting to see. But so it's a very nice shade of red as well. It has a couple of scratches on it that I haven't yet to rub out. But it's a nice, very nice machine. It's a very, for the time that this vacuum was made, which would have been about 1984, it's a very modern looking machine compared to what else was on the market at the time. When I got it, I don't have the bag with me, but I actually do have the original genuine type O Hoover bag that would have gone in this vacuum, which is basically an A bag. This is a generic A Hoover HEPA bag that I placed that works very well, filters a lot better than the original bag. So this clips into place like that. So like I said, this vacuum was made in the UK. No attachments, it's basically just a carpet and floor vacuum. But it works very well. We'll give it a quick run, and then I'll show you what the brush roll looks like. So let's get this thing started. Alright, so here's a closer look at the machine. And the serial number is in an unusual spot. It's on the front of the hood. So you can look at this. Let's see. Hoover cleaner model U2314, 4 amps. That's interesting. So it uses a third of the electricity of a typical modern vacuum cleaner, made in the United Kingdom for Hoover Company, North Canton, Ohio. So this is a vacuum that was sold in the United States. This is not it's a British vacuum, but it was maybe sold in the United States, so that makes it very unique. It's a lot lighter, I've noticed, than an Elite as well, which is very interesting. But this is the brush roll, which you can see is a little bit different. It's got these interesting little things. I forgot what they're called. They're kind of like beater bars almost, but they're not quite. As you can see, there's already some hair around the brush roll, but it has fairly stiff bristles. But the brush roll's in surprisingly good shape for a vacuum that's 34 years old. But these are the high adjustment wheels right here. So I didn't have the correct style belt that would go with this machine, so I just used a Dirt Devil style 4/5 belt. But you know, for finding it for only a couple dollars at a thrift store, it was definitely worth it to get, because it's such an unusual thing to see here in the United States, because it clearly was not made for the United States market, even though it was sold here. So that is the Hoover Sovereign. I hope you enjoyed the video.